Hey everyone, it's Dr. Mike here with Yensum. Today, we're talking about a topic that's super important for all you new parents, keeping your little ones warm and comfy. Babies, especially those brand new little ones, aren't as good at regulating their own body temperature as we adults are. That's why we're going to break down some of the telltale signs that your baby might be feeling a little chilly. All right, let's get started. Let's start with a classic sign, cold hands and feet. Their little extremities tend to cool down faster because their circulation is still developing. If their hands and feet are excessively cold, like icy to the touch, it's a good sign that their little bodies might be struggling to stay warm. Their body prioritizes keeping their core, their heart, lungs, and other vital organs warm. So, while slightly cool hands and feet are usually no biggie, if you notice they're consistently icy, it's a good idea to check if they need an extra layer or a warmer environment. Next up, let's talk about your baby's complexion. If you start to notice their skin looking pale or blotchy, it could be another sign that they're feeling the chill. This paleness, sometimes even with a bluish tint, is most noticeable in areas like their lips, fingers and toes. If you notice this paleness or blotchiness sticking around, especially when you're indoors and it's not particularly cold, it's definitely something to pay attention to. The most reliable way to gauge your baby's temperature is by feeling their chest or tummy. If their chest or tummy feels cool to the touch, it's a much stronger indicator that they're actually cold. To check, simply place the back of your hand on their chest or tummy. If it does, it's a clear sign they need some help warming up. Babies communicate in their own special way, right? They can't exactly tell us what's wrong, so they rely on cues like crying, cooing, and body language. When it comes to feeling cold, babies can react in seemingly opposite ways. They might become fussier than usual or unusually quiet. If your usually chill baby is suddenly inconsolable, or if your little ball of energy is unusually lethargic, it's worth checking if they're too cold. They might just need an extra layer or a warmer environment to feel like themselves again. All right, this next sign is a bit less common in babies, especially newborns, but it's still important to be aware of shivering. As babies get a bit older and their temperature regulation systems mature, they might start shivering when they're truly cold, just like adults. Shivering is basically the body's way of trying to generate heat when it senses a drop in temperature. If you do notice your little one shivering, it's crucial to warm them up promptly. Babies are naturally curious and love to move around. If you notice your baby seems less active than usual, moving more slowly or appearing a bit sluggish, it could be related to feeling cold. When babies get cold, their bodies instinctively try to conserve heat, and one way they do this is by reducing movement. So if your little wiggle worm is suddenly less inclined to move around, it's worth checking if they're feeling chilly. Last but not least, let's talk about breathing. Changes in their breathing pattern can also be a sign that they're too cold. When your baby gets cold, their body goes into overdrive, trying to maintain a stable internal temperature. If you notice your baby's breathing seems faster than normal, especially if it's accompanied by other signs of being cold, it's important to check their temperature and make sure they're dressed appropriately for the environment. So we've covered a lot today about recognizing when your baby might be cold. A good rule of thumb is to dress them in one more layer than you're wearing. Think layers that are easy to add or remove as needed, and don't forget to check the room temperature. Ideally, you want it to be between 68 and 72 degrees Fahrenheit. If you found these tips helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more parenting tips and advice. Until next time, stay warm and keep those babies cozy.